Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Apocaflix Movies. I am Brian, and we are going to talk a little Nerd Nation today. And with me, as always, are my co-hosts in crime, Keith Barnes and Gio. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. Just fine.
Yeah.
Being home, staying safe.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
So, yeah, right. I know. Ready for this stupid thing to be over. But yeah, so today we are going to talk a little DC. We're going to talk a little Venom, and then we are going to talk about our 1 year anniversary talk of Avengers Endgame. I'm not going to even start. I'll wait because I'm probably going to rile feathers. But all right, so our first thing that we have right now is Warner Brothers has re-released, I guess, a new schedule of the DC movie slate and what their plan is going forward, especially with the shift of Wonder Woman being pushed back. And so currently there are on the docket 6 different DC movies that are ready to get going. The first one being Wonder Woman 1984, which is now set for a August 14th, 2020 position. Currently, the movie following that is going to be The Suicide Squad, and that is going to be a year later, August 6th, 2021. Then we will have The Batman, which was June 25th, 2021, but is now going to be October 1st, 2021. So you have those. And then you have The Flash, which was July 1st, 2022. Yes, Keith is wearing...
Nice.
Oh, wait. I think Jake made a typo in the notes because it says it's going back in time. Let's see. It is going from July. I'm assuming he meant July 1st, 2021 to June 3rd, 2022. Let's see.
Move it up.
I doubt they would move it up.
I doubt.
Let's see.
No, I think they did move it up, actually.
Oh, they did. I'm wrong. I am wrong. It went from July 1st, 2022 to now it's June 3rd, 2022. Never question Jake. I guess he's always right. And then Shazam 2 is now currently April 1st, 2022, but now is going to be November 4th, 2022. And then the sequel to Aquaman 2, is going to stay at December 18th of 2022. So we are going to be jam-packed with movies basically for the next 2 years with Warner Brothers and DC. Gio, as the resident DC, I was going to say fanatic, but connoisseur, I'm going to go with.
Enthusiast.
What is your thoughts? Enthusiast. Okay, there you go. Enthusiast, what are your thoughts?
Well, this shouldn't be anything like the slate they released a few years ago, I'll tell you that. We all know that one was a mess, but this one, there's like some legitimate circumstances behind it. The fact that COVID-19 is pushing behind really everything in Hollywood right now. TV shows in production, movies in production, movies that were supposed to be released this year, well documented. I'm not worried about the first 3 movies. Wonder Woman 84, that movie was coming. I think everyone was excited for it. The Suicide Squad already shot. James Gunn's been working hard at that one. I trust James Gunn. And Matt Reeves is the Batman. I know Matt Reeves. I know Matt Reeves' work. So this guy is a dedicated filmmaker, very dedicated to his craft. We saw it with the Apes franchise, 2 and 3, and it was smart for them to shut down production, obviously. After that, it's funny. Because of the Ezra Miller backlash that's going on right now, instead of Warner Brothers, firing Ezra Miller, they instead move up the release date a couple of months. I thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, it's pretty much common sense to move these release dates because you can't shoot right now, and that just means more DC movies in a shorter period of time, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So other than this year, there's now set for 3 a year for the next 2 years after this year.
And I like that. I'm all for competitiveness in Hollywood. It'll further motivate everyone to step their game up, and we as fans get better content.
Keith, thoughts?
Well, yeah, hopefully, of course. I mean, it's an easy thing to do is to announce a bunch of dates, and then, they've done this before. Let's say we've done this.
Seen this before.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's why I'm always, anytime I see release dates for stuff like this, it's always with okay, let's.
Are you worried about the first 3 movies, Keith? Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, or The Batman?
The first. No, not at all.
3. The first 3 I'm not worried about either.
Yeah, those are solid.
Yeah, you have a year almost exactly between Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad as scheduled.
From a standpoint of the people making them, no, I'm not worried about that at all because Patty Jenkins, James Gunn, Matt Reeves, they're solid, dependable, good. They know what they're doing. The rest is, we've seen all the problems with the Flash. All that is well documented. So who knows with that? Shazam, we'll see. Again, that's one where I think people we all enjoy the first one, but
it was a hit, but it wasn't a real big hit. Like after I saw it the first time, I was like, okay,
I have no
Black
doubt
Adam.
They're gonna do it. I have no doubt they're gonna do it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Black Adam, which is wasn't that supposed to be 21? Also, didn't The Rock say that?
Yes, it is currently slotted at December 22nd, 21.
Yeah, so curious. It's interesting that they don't have that on here, but
well, The Rock is his own promotional marketing.
Yeah,
right. Very true.
It'll be on his Twitter or Instagram for it. But my issue is just with this pandemic right now. Who knows? All right, I mean, they're announcing stuff going well into 21 or even maybe 22 for a lot of things. Not kind of the transition sort of back into reopening things, going well into the next year or maybe even the year after. We don't know. Who knows what will happen between now and then? So, from that standpoint, I'm not quite as optimistic because I don't know what's going to happen. But if this holds, then this is great. Like I said, we'll get 3 movies next year and 3 more in 22. So it'll be cool to see what happens. But those first 3 for sure, I think as long as we get those are the ones I really want to see the most. So,
well, the Batman's was how much did it? Wasn't it like 25% shot?
Yeah, about a quarter of the way through.
Quarter of the way.
Yeah.
So they've got a year and about a year and a half till that.
You're right. A little bit slightly less. Yeah, you're right about. Yeah, you're right. And so
luckily, Suicide Squad, James Gunn said like we're good. We're done filming it.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was done. I do like the idea of Batman in October.
Yeah,
okay,
that
was my next little thing.
If this turns out that because it seems they're clearly heading towards Long Halloween with the story, so if that's what if that's the story they're telling, it would be cool to have it out in October. So that would be.
I love the fact that Batman's in like that October, November-ish spot. Well, not really. It's I should say September, October.
Early October. Yeah, right. Early.
I think it's. I personally love the spot it's in now compared to what it was. I think it was June before. Right. I think this is a much better spot for it.
Time. Yeah.
So, yeah, and then to me, I'm kind of still more surprised that Aquaman's still so far away. Like, it's literally it's almost 2023 that movie is gonna come out. So
it came out in 2018, right? 2018,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 5 years.
November of 18, yeah. So
right.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, obviously, probably expected. Sucks, but it does seem to work out. I mean, if all those movies hit next year, that's a solid DC movie set. Suicide Squad, Batman, and Black Adam with The Rock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about that setup. So, I mean, hopefully the way we're going, hopefully, like I was saying, it will pan out. But yeah, that is. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, I don't have much confidence in the Flash. To be honest, it's
you don't like the
they were gonna
filmmaker?
go on. And then this Ezra Miller thing it's not a good look.
You don't like the
If I had
filmmaker?
to,
Oh no, they can. Is it Colette Sarah? Right? Is he?
And Andy.
Oh, Muschietti, the
Muschietti.
It guy. Yeah, It Chapter 2, or well, both of them, right? He's both. Yeah.
One is here.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. I'd love to see what he's got in mind. They keep saying it's gonna be Flashpoint. So I'd love to see what he's gonna do, but it just, man, there's always something with that production, man. I don't get it. So
I would say that's the most questionable one out of all of them.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 2018, right? 2019, 18?
18, I think, right? Was it supposed to be 18?
No, I think 18 was the Batman.
Okay.
And 19 was the Flash.
It was Flash.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, something. But yeah, that one's probably the most questionable at the moment. But hopefully it all pans out, because I mean, those are a solid set of movies that I would personally, and I know Gio and you would enjoy to see. But all right, so we're going to skip to our next topic, which is the fact that Venom 2 has finally gotten an official title and a new release date. So we've been hearing pretty much since the last movie that Carnage is going to be the next big bad of this franchise. I mean, we saw Woody Harrelson at the end of the movie looking like Carrot Top, and thank God they cut his hair down. But yes, so the official title of Venom 2 is now going to be Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And then the movie has been moved from October 2nd, 2021 to, ironically, the spot that Batman was in, which is June 25th, 2025, or 2021.
Dang.
So yes, it went a solid amount of months back, about 8 months pushed back, if my math is correct, which it probably isn't. But yeah, what are we thinking? Let There Be Carnage.
Well, I mean, the move makes sense. That film was nearly complete, if not complete.
Had to be close.
Whereas Batman was only 25%, so it makes sense. More of your movie completed. There's a new slot in there. Obviously, the slot's good enough to have a Batman movie. Why not put Venom 2 there? Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and that title sucks. I don't like that title. I do not. That's God. I'm not gonna say Venom. Hey, can I get one ticket for Venom? Let There Be Carnage. I'm just just give me a ticket to Venom.
That title needs to be just like the catchphrase or the hashtag you use when you're saying I'm gonna go see Venom 2. Hashtag Let There Be Carnage.
Right.
Jake put up, and I completely agree. This is what I think it should have been from the start, was Maximum Carnage. Now, I'm assuming that was taken off the table because they have an animated TV show coming that is literally that title. But Let There Be Carnage is, to me, it's kind of stupid.
It's very stupid. These must be the same guys who titled Edge of Tomorrow and other movies like that, where the title is just terrible.
Constantly changing it.
Yeah.
Keith, thoughts on Let There Be Carnage?
Isn't that a Sony? I think that's a Sony production too, right?
100%.
Edge of Tomorrow, wasn't that the? Yeah.
Oh, that I don't know, but this is definitely.
Whatever, I don't know, but I don't care. First of all, this is one of those, and when I say that, I mean just Venom. somehow that movie made the money it made. I think there was a lot
The
of
character made the money.
curiosity factor with the character.
The character made the money.
Carnage is something that no one besides us knows what that is, what that means. There's only one thing people want to see in a Venom movie going forward, and that's Spider-Man. We can't get any real definitive yes or no whether or not he's going to be in it. It's gonna be Venom versus Carnage and no Spider. I don't know. It's a bad title. I don't care. Listen, what Carnage anything, whether it's, I know what the maximum Carnage or what, doesn't matter. Nobody knows what Carnage is. Like I said, like as far as like the main public, like they don't know what that is, what that means, anything about that character. Except he is another one that looks like Venom. How's it going to be any different, really, from the first Venom?
Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom. Pretty much. You got two Venoms fighting each other again. Like no.
I mean, I do like the idea of bad versus evil, but the problem is they made Venom very much a good guy. You know, the original R-rated version of Venom likely would have had Venom, you know, as a bad guy who just had to take care of a greater evil, you know. Kind of like, you know, someone stepping on your territory. It's like, you know, you're the boss, the boss of that territory, and you gotta take him down, you know. So but we did not get that in the first Venom movie.
It seems like we're go ahead, Keith.
I was gonna say just maybe like out of a sense of like a self-preservation, maybe is for Venom. Like he's not necessarily doing the right thing for the right reason. He just, you know, he wants to get rid of any threats to him. I don't know. I don't really. I don't have. I like Tom Hardy. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, it's other than the title, I do like what I'm seeing. Andy Serkis behind the camera. I thought he did a great job with Mowgli, that Netflix darker version of Jungle Book. Mm-hmm. This one will be rated R, right? I understand this one will be.
I don't know. Is it? No, they have not confirmed or denied. I believe.
I'm pretty sure it's rated R.
I will look while you're talking.
Please do, but I mean, it's only fitting. It should have been rated R for Venom, but if you're going to have a character like Carnage, it needs to be rated R. And it's if this movie was trying to be made maybe 10 years ago, probably wouldn't happen. But with Logan, with Deadpool, I'm trying to think if there's any other R-rated comic book movies that. I mean, Birds of Prey was R-rated, wasn't it?
Oh, there's been tons of Punisher. Warzone was R-rated. Dread
wasn't Birds of
Prey was R-rated. Yeah,
R-rated. Yeah.
So it is currently not known whether or not they're going to target a rated R audience. It says
it has to be rated R.
Personally,
I don't think it does.
If you're gonna actually please the people that know Carnage, this movie needs to be rated R. He's a serial killer. This character. I mean, we already know Venom's supposed to eat people, and they showed us him eating over a person like the Shadow. I mean, this is if you're gonna do Carnage, you kind of can't F it up, and you can't do some PG-13 type stuff, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, what do we know about critics and fandom alike is that when you mess with their not R-rated, with the comic book source material, and you don't stay true to the character, they will rip your movie apart. I mean, Batman v Superman was a great example, even though Batman v Superman did follow certain iterations of the characters in different comic books, but that's another discussion.
Yeah, it's for me, it's just hard to see if you're going to bring Carnage. I mean, his name is freaking Carnage. You should expect chaos in whatever. But this guy is not. This character is not Venom, which they are clearly trying to make a very strong anti-hero / push him more towards the hero side. So this guy needs to be pretty bad, because if Venom's not going to be a good guy or a bad guy, you need to show that this guy is bad. He is, because Anti-Venom was soft. Like this guy, he was all about.
You're talking about the guy from the first movie?
Yes,
he
wasn't.
That was Riot.
Riz Ahmed's character.
That was Riot.
Oh,
Riot. That's right.
Riot. Oh, I've been saying but this guy's got Carnage has a reputation. He's literally on the. I refer to this a lot. The IGN's top 100 greatest comic book characters of all time. So, I mean, to me, he's one of those characters this is where you should go rated R, especially if Andy Serkis is directing it. Like, he's not, he doesn't, if he wants it to be rated R, he's gonna make it rated R.
Yeah, I mean, the post-credits scene of that featured Carnage was literally Cletus Cassidy writing "Welcome" or "Hello, Eddie" in blood. Like,
yeah.
Well, see, that's the kind of thing. If you make a story, it's necessary for the story, then yes. But if you're just doing it for shock value and just to, look, like you take the wrong lessons, I think, from a Deadpool, which even Deadpool himself, like that character is not necessarily, or at least originally in the comics, Deadpool wasn't like what we know him as now. He was really a much less PG-13, much less R-rated. He's more. He was just crazy and annoying, but he wasn't like all the cursing. And,
it wasn't Ryan Reynolds.
It wasn't. Yeah, not at all. So if it serves a story to make it R, and probably he's a serial killer, so yeah, it would make sense if they make it make sense. But if they're just doing it for shock value and just to make it just to do it, then just throwing a few F words here. Look, you mentioned Birds of Prey. I didn't think that needed to be rated R at all, to be honest. I mean, it really wasn't.
No, it was rated R probably more for the language, and I would say the not gratuitous, but when she jumps on his leg and snaps his leg.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
That type of stuff is probably what put it rated R. But I mean,
it wasn't gory, and it wasn't really.
No. And then maybe the drug use. Maybe that probably pushed it a little bit more.
Yeah,
but other than that, I agree. I mean, you could have made a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, you could have got away with that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope it's rated R personally. Do I think they will? No. I think they'll pressure down to PG-13 so they can get those 13-year-olds, 13 to 17-year-olds in the seats.
Well, then don't expect me to watch it on opening weekend. I'll go on a Tuesday or something.
Well, especially if they want to blend this character in with Spider-Man eventually, then yeah, I can imagine them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but who knows? Who knows, especially since it's been pushed back. But yeah, so we finished our first two topics, and now we are at our main, which is almost a couple days from now, the 1-year anniversary of the greatest superhero movie, in my opinion, of all time, Avengers Endgame, released April 26th of 2019. I rewatched this movie before we got on here. It's just as good as when I watched it in theaters. It's so good. I'll go. You guys can talk. Go. Whoever wants to go first. Thoughts on, does it still hold up?
Real quick. Well, I'm pretty sure we all had the same feeling walking out the theater, but you guys, was your feeling walking out the theater after seeing this movie anything other than amazed, wow, joy, emotional? I mean, it's exactly what they call it, the ultimate cinematic experience. I put it above Avatar, honestly, for me.
Me too.
And that's because this movie really, really benefits off of your nostalgia of 10 years of the MCU. When Iron Man came out, I was still in high school. I had about a month left.
Hmm.
You know, now I'm
Keith, you and I
almost
are like,
middle age.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Keith, thoughts walking out that first time?
Yeah. There's certainly, it was just felt like the ending to this good, strong season finale to a great TV series, and they it tied up a bunch of loose ends that we were wondering about, especially coming out of Infinity War. It was a tall task because that alone, and I'm one that we talked about it a bunch of times, but I mean I lean a little bit more in terms of rewatchability. I lean a little bit more towards Infinity War. Endgame is something that I'll pick it up. Like I love the opening and just certain parts throughout. I really go back and watch it start to finish. I've done it several times. I did when I first bought it on digital. I probably watched it maybe 5, 6, 7 times. But since then I kind of just watch it in pieces. Mostly because it's so long.
It is an investment to watch this movie.
Yeah, you got to sit down and take it. But every now and then, like we've done it, we haven't done it in a while, but we'll sit down and watch them both back to back, and it's awesome to do that. But that's a good chunk of your day to do that. But yeah, man, coming out of it, you just felt like it was just as satisfying an ending to any series of films or saga or something that really hadn't been done in movie history. It was just all these characters, all these different films over such a long stretch of time, and this one continuous overarching narrative, even though it involves so many different people and characters. To wrap it up the way they did, says a lot about the people in charge, and I mean it's just good storytelling, man. Like it's that's I don't know what to say about it, man. I can't. It doesn't get a whole lot better, and I'm curious to see where they go next. We'll get to that, I guess, later, but I can't imagine them really kind of topping this. Just overall, not even just Endgame, but just everything, start to finish. Like man,
I agree.
Yeah. So
this movie, I've never in my life been to a movie and had an experience like I did in this movie. I mean, we all had invested 10 years of our life, a decade of our lives into this franchise, which is crazy to think about. We've been following these characters throughout a decade, and I will probably never cry like I did in a movie, like I did at the end of that movie. I never have sat in a movie theater and just openly wept for a movie. Like you get obviously there's definitely sad parts of the movie. Never again. My Fitbit, I'll never forget it. When Captain Marvel flew in to kill or blow up the ship, my Fitbit or my Apple Watch said your heart rate is above 120. Try taking deep breaths, and I'm like, like those things I'll never forget, and it's something that is will probably never, at least I can't imagine ever experiencing ever again. And every time I rewatch it, takes me right back to those moments, and it's just yeah, it's this probably it will be in my top 1 or 2 for the rest of my. I can't imagine it not being, just because of investing 10 years of your life, these characters you grew up with finally coming to life. I mean, in the way that they did, we'll never probably see anything like it again for the rest of our lives, at least. 10 years of building a story.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'd be hard to replicate. They're still going. I don't know if you saw, we had a brief cameo from Emma here.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's gonna be hard to replicate. We'll see. I mean, listen, they're gonna keep going. I love that. Now that they've got all these new characters, Fantastic Four and X-Men and whoever, Silver Surfer and all the Fox characters are coming over, and
yep,
they can do a whole new different thing, which is really cool. So that's really more my thing. I know we're supposed to be, it's kind of a retrospective on Endgame, but I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do next.
I agree. It is very, and I've, since the second I walked out of that theater, what in the hell are they going to do next that's going to make me love and be like invested in it like they have for the last 10 years? I mean, a majority of these characters we will never probably see again. And now we're basically we went from 0 to 10. We're all the way almost back to 0 for the most part. And it's crazy to think. Well, we're at like,
I don't want to say never. Well, I mean, you're like, well, I see what you mean. Like, we're kind of sort of starting over, but it's like we're kind of leveling up to like like everything was here. Like, you know, they talked about it was all kind of Earth based. Well, you know, relatively. I mean, but because this next was supposed to be like more kind of cosmic. They talked about, right, going forward. Yeah. So I'd love to see more. The thing that's really great is that we've got all the. I like seeing them take more chances. It's not just stuff like with Guardians and like what we got with Doctor Strange, and even going outside of Marvel, those things we've seen. You know, some of the stuff we've seen from other properties that allows them to take more chances, and other studios and other comic book properties take more chances on film and television. Maybe you could say we kind of sort of owe it to them. I mean, there's obviously been others, but the more weirder, more ambitious stuff like the Guardians of the Galaxy, or even Thor, even going back this far as Thor, like for that to work, for them to make that work, it certainly has allowed for more crazy stuff, like hopefully what we'll get from Gunn and Suicide Squad, or something like a, I don't know.
Well, I mean, look at when were we ever going to see a Shang-Chi movie? Like an all Asian superhero, well, martial arts movie.
I can't wait for that, man. That's
like that's crazy. I mean, and this helped propel movies for women-led superheroes. It gave us Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was the first one. Like, I mean, it like
major one,
like this woman was in charge of the movie. It was her movie, directed by a female director. Like, this stuff wasn't, and taking in $1 billion. Are you kidding? Like, that wasn't happening. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Really quick, I didn't get to comment on this. I'm gonna go back to Shang-Chi. I'm glad you mentioned him. So going back to y'all's draft, to the Avengers draft we did. Yeah. Shang-Chi I can't remember who was talking about it. He definitely can and has beaten some superpowered characters. I think he did defeat Captain America in a fight once, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I know he faces Fing Fang Foom, and that's obviously a giant
big old
mystical dragon. So
dragon man with shorts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Now I'm knowing my luck, it was probably me that said it.
That's where someone's saying, "Well, Shang-Chi can't be." I think he has beaten some super powered people. Some. I mean, he certainly can. So I would love to. I can't remember who it was that took him because he would have been somebody I would have taken to.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, it's hard to imagine that a movie like this will be replicated in, I mean, the amount of actors, the amount of money, just to pay the actors, the amount of the money to make the movie, just all of it. It's incredible how much money they had to put into just making this movie. I mean,
that's a lot. A lot went into it. I'm curious how much more the Russos will be involved going forward as well, and the writers as well, Marcus and McFeely, because they did such a great job. They wrote all. They pretty much made Captain America's arc throughout because they wrote all 3 of the Captain America movies and Endgame and Infinity War. So I'm curious to see if they will, how much more or little those all those guys will be involved going forward too.
So how do you guys feel about it a year later? Do you feel the same way you did when the movie came out? Do you like it more, like it less, the same? What are our thoughts looking back a year later?
Well, it hasn't changed much because it's only been a year.
True.
Right.
There's still that, wow feeling every time the third act begins. From the moment Hulk puts on the glove to the Tony Stark funeral. Rewatchability, like I'm kind of with Keith. I've kind of watched the first act and then kind of skipped through a little bit of the second act just to get to the third act. And that's not, rewatchability isn't the be all say all for what makes a movie great. It's one of the determining factors for sure when looking back on a film, but it's not the be all say all. That being said, there are some things in the second act that do not hold up. Some things that stood out, notably how convenient it was for Nebula to just break down and for Thanos to find her. I mean, had that not happened, then it's game over, man. And then when Tony Stark tells Captain America he vaguely has an idea of where the Tesseract and the Pym particles are, like, what if he overshot it by like a week or a day? Then it's it's game over.
Yeah.
It's just things like that kind of stick out. But again, it doesn't take away from the experience that still holds up a year later. The emotion that you get, whether it's Natasha and Clint fighting to see who gets to make the sacrifice. They're doing it out of love for their fellow Avengers and family, but also out of love for themselves, for each other. I thought that was very poetic, just to have them two, fight, and it brought it back to Avengers 1 when Natasha had to confront mind-controlled Clint. But yeah, I mean, we'll see 5 years later. But for now, it largely holds up.
Okay. Keith?
Yeah, definitely. Especially if and when Black Widow comes out, I definitely would like to see if there are any connections with that film as well. That was one where, that was a tough one, man. I think we went so long expecting it to be Hawkeye from Age of Ultron all the way through. Everybody.
Yeah. How many times has he almost died or something? Like,
even I. Sorry, one second.
No, you're fine. Okay. I feel like it's been a solid amount.
Sorry. Yeah, we had to. they really kept us guessing even all the way up until she actually went down. Like which one of them it was going to be. It was really very well written scene.
Heartbreaking scene.
Yeah, it was crushing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very crushing. Like I said, that scene, as much the Tony.
You're going to say exactly what I feel.
Probably
Go for it. Sorry.
That was as emotional because we've known him for so long. But I think the more like devastating one was certainly, I think in my opinion, it was the Black Widow one.
I agree.
I would argue with it a year.
I
would have argued with you a year ago. Now I have a much harder time watching hers than I do his.
Yeah,
because she's just like it breaks your heart. Like him holding her and being like, no, and she's just let me go.
When
and
she
it's
says,
just
let
like
me go, I'm like, oh man.
I know.
Yeah,
it's the Tony Stark scene right now. It's just like, man, it just sucks. Hers, I'm just like, oh my god, it's so hard to watch. I completely agree with you.
What are the chances they bring her back?
No, you can't rule it out. Nah,
let's say Black Widow kills it at the box office whenever it comes out, like 1.5 or 1.
They'll do another story from her past.
Nah, listen, you can't rule it out, man. It's comics. You know how it is. Comic characters.
Look at Gamora. They found a way to bring Gamora back.
Figure out a way, exactly. They've always do it. Every comic character has died and come back, or been cloned, or
Loki. Look at Loki.
Time travel did bring one from the past back into the future or something. Yeah, Loki. Yeah, right. Like they've killed Loki like 4 times or something, 3-4 times. Yeah, so I won't rule it out. I don't know if it'll be anytime soon. And she's gotten a good handle on that character. Like she's really made it her own. She's really, the more she's grown as an actress, and she does all kinds of different things, Scarlett Johansson, but she's really got a good handle on that character. So same thing with Steve Rogers. I'm not going to rule out ever seeing him again as well. It might not be for a while, but I can't imagine we would ever see another guy playing Steve Rogers Captain America.
I
would bet
that. How about that send off?
Yeah, right.
That one's rough too. Not as rough as the other two, but
I found it satisfying, man. I felt like he earned it.
I agree.
He earned he earned it. I felt the same way about Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. I felt like it was sad, but it was just, for me personally, I felt like it was satisfying. And
but you wanted to see Luke Skywalker kick ass and whip out the lightsaber one more time. And
yeah.
He didn't do any of that. It's almost like it was in his contract clause. Like, no, I will not do any of that.
Yeah. Who knows? But I totally get that. Like, it just for me, I found it. I was like, well, okay, he's peaceful. He wasn't killed. He went out on his own terms, in his own way, and it's just Captain America, same thing. He went out doing.
And he gets the last scene of the movie too.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And he gets that last dance with Peggy, man. He finally gets that dance. I felt it was very poetic, it's well done, man. It's great in it.
Well, he would still exist in the world. He didn't die in Endgame.
Exactly.
So it's not the last we've seen of Steve Rogers.
You're absolutely right. They got a lot to explain. Certainly, as far as him taking back the stones. Sure, there's a story to be told right there. This maybe his adventures bringing the stones back to wherever he got each point in time. Or
there's your Disney Plus right there.
Sure, yeah. I don't think
every episode is one stone.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's an idea.
That if they were, that's a while away because they are going to make it known that Sam Wilson is Captain America now, especially after. Yeah, I mean it's.
I think they both want to move on. I think Evans wants to do other stuff for now, and but I know he really does love that character, so I can't imagine he would.
Of course.
I got to mention one of the
something.
Yeah, he would.
I got to mention one of the underrated character arcs for this whole 10-year span is 5 years for her. Guardians came out in 2014, but Nebula.
Yeah, agree.
You mean the one you bagged on earlier?
Which one?
Nebula.
Yeah. I mean, come on now. She just all of a sudden like
she's a robot.
She gets affected because her past is being tortured, but later on in another scene, Tony Stark is experiencing a cardiac arrest, and the present Tony Stark is just fine. It's like,
well, she's a robot. She's more robot than
Tony Stark's
person at this point.
Reactor at that point in time, it was his.
But he doesn't have robot parts. It literally projected out of her projector robot eye.
I'm not talking about the semantic. I'm talking about the concept of if your past self is being tortured or hurt or damaged in some way, what that does to your present self.
No, they said it doesn't work that way, though. That's the reason why they didn't just go back and kill baby Thanos. They said the time doesn't work that way.
I've laughed really hard at that scene this time where he just goes,
yeah.
I don't know. I forgot about it and was just like, oh my God. He like he's making it very clear. Take off his head.
I will say I did like how they explained the timeline and how the time travel works, trying not to really copy past films.
Everything else.
But my point is, the more you think about it, the more it's just like, so it's best to not think about it.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like we talked, or I was alluding to last week. If when the writing's done, the character's done, you care about everything that's going on, you can let it go. All right, you don't, like you said, you don't really think about it. You watch it 20, 30 times, then you start thinking about it. But look, I just watched Armageddon, right? My daughter and I, Charlize, and there's a bunch of stuff in that movie that doesn't make any sense.
That whole movie does not make sense. But
you're so engaged. You're absolutely, but you're so engaged with the characters, and
it's the characters, man.
Right?
Bruce Willis, Michael Clark Duncan, Owen Wilson. That movie had an ensemble, man.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And you can let some of the nonsensical things go. You're willing to kind of overlook that stuff if the writing is done and the stories, characters are compelling. So,
I will say, I would like to revisit this film in another 4 years once we've had other Marvel movies happen and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
because then I'd be curious. That
that's a good.
I'm sorry for bringing it up, but with the BBS discussion, I got to talk a little bit about Wonder Woman and how that film played back to Batman v Superman upon repeat viewings, and we would have known in a month if that Black Widow movie would have had any effect, but we won't figure that out for a little while longer, unfortunately.
I completely agree with you. Go ahead, Keith. Sorry, cut you off.
Just real quick, I was gonna say, because we recently, a few weeks ago, we watched Avengers, the first one, and as much fun as it's one of the most fun, probably the most fun experience I've had in theater. It doesn't hold up as well for me.
I agree.
The Whedon dialogue's a little. You watch it now, it definitely feels more cartoony.
Don't even start. Don't even get me going with him.
Yeah, I'm not a.
Don't even get me going with him.
You see Josh Whedon's Captain America compared to Russo Brothers' Captain America. You see Whedon's Thor compared to Taika Waititi's Thor. It's just
the stakes feel as much at the time. It was the biggest thing ever. We thought, like, oh man, how are they gonna? But the stakes are way higher, so much higher in these Infinity War and Endgame. It's like this. It makes this Avengers look like a children's story.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this conversation. It's film standing the test of time, And I do enjoy this movie, but I'm very curious to revisit it in 4 more years.
Yeah,
I agree.
Hopefully I'm still around.
I agree with you, Gio, and especially in the aspect of we'll definitely have more of a grasp on what they're doing in this universe. So if it's going good, then we could be saying like, yeah, Endgame was pretty good, but look what they're doing now. Or it could be the complete opposite where it's like, God, this sucks. I wish we were still doing Endgame.
Or 19, whatever.
Exactly. So it's
know.
literally two sides of a coin that you don't really know where you're going to land. So until X amount of years from now. So it'll definitely be interesting.
Hey, side note, Brian, you think 10 years is crazy? Wait till Fast and Furious ends. They've been going for 20 years.
Listen, that franchise will never 20
end. Years.
You're being serious, but it's like it's funny to say that, but you're right.
Hey,
you are right.
Hey, Fast 10 is apparently the last saga film. Like, if something similar to Endgame happens, and like not like copy, but like something along the lines in that same branch, who's to say? You know, I mean, look at one character's death, unfortunately, in Furious 7, and how much that impact had. It catapulted the franchise, for good and for worse.
You never in 2012 you could obviously Thanos was in the end credits of Avengers, so you kind of you could see this is going to be a thing for a while, but you never would have thought in 2001, whenever first Fast and Furious came out.
2000.
2000? Was it? Yeah, jeez. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, well, there you go. 2000. You never would have imagined
they'd be flying. They'd be black Superman flying cars and
whatever. No. Anything. I wouldn't imagine they would have gone past three of these, let alone.
They went from hijacking a truck full of DVD players.
Right.
They're just DVD players.
Street racing and DVD. That's it.
Tanks and stuff now.
Now they're saving the world every movie. So.
An argument can be made that one future Nerd Nation episode should be on Fast and Furious. It's science fiction pretty much at this point. They're superheroes.
At this point, yes, it's science fiction.
We just watched Hobbs and Shaw. I just watched it. I didn't see it when it came out.
Was this the first time you watched it?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just watched it on HBO.
Okay,
it's pretty good, man. I kind of like it. I kind of liked it.
Jake and I saw it in D-Box with the seats moving and everything.
I was with you guys. It's good.
I thought it was good, man. Maybe just because I watched it at home, but
it's better than you thought it was going to be. At least in my opinion.
I don't know, the whole Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart thing. It's just like, oh god, this is totally.
Well, that was literally just to put them in it. Yeah, you're right. They didn't. Those could have been anybody, but I do like that. We'll see. I thought it was fun.
It'll be interesting to see. That's you're very right, true, Gio. That is another long-standing franchise that.
Yeah.
Who knows where that will go? But Any final thoughts? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just real quick. I mean, are we even going to make actual Avengers movies anymore? I mean, we don't. They probably will, but we don't.
Probably it'll.
Oh yeah, you'll have a new Avengers squad for sure.
They might call them like the new Avengers or something like that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Yeah, Marvel has an opportunity to later down the road, in another 10 years, to have another Endgame moment. But in this case, with characters like Fantastic Four and X-Men, and of course the Avengers and whatnot, like
Black Panther. Thor. It seems like Thor's going to keep going.
Yeah, for now, yeah. Well, Thor can pass off that hammer too, so that's a whole different thing. So, but any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Not really. It's still very much mostly the same for me. Try not to think about it. Try not to rewatch it too many times, because then I'm like, I'm starting nitpicking, or stuff like that. But I mean, that's a part of rewatching it, and you can't go shy away from how you really feel. But I really, really enjoy this movie. Like it's gold. It's a cinematic, masterful experience, even at home. And like I said, I can't wait to revisit this movie later on down the road, because I definitely want to talk about it again after a couple more years.
Right.
Agreed. Keith?
Yeah, same here. Not much. Yeah, we haven't already said, man. It's an all-timer. It's one of those instant classics. There's a lot of people who I've discovered fairly recently that actually don't like it.
Crazy.
It's whatever. It's fine. But if again, if you've been there from the beginning, and it's not perfect. Nothing is, but I can't imagine it not holding up still years later. We'll see, but looking back after a year, like I said, I'm still more. I've talked about it a billion times. I'm an Infinity War guy. If you're going to compare the two, but they certainly go together for sure. So, like I said, I love it. I look forward to it. It's been a while since I watched it, so maybe soon we'll take a day and watch them both back to back.
Nice.
I love doing that.
Nice. Yeah,
Love
and
it.
you guys, we already know my thoughts on it. I don't need to go into it anymore. But yeah, that is our episode today of Nerd Nation. We touched on the little new DC Warner Brothers slate, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, yeah, and Avengers Endgame, the 1 year anniversary. And yeah, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. And yeah, if you enjoyed what you heard, go ahead and hit that like button. Obviously, if you aren't already subscribed, please do so already. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, anywhere pretty much. So yeah, check it out. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining us at Nerd Nation and Apocaflix Movies.